President of the People's Republic of China.
Look at Xi Jinping's face. You're looking at Esau like, man, you don't even know how much I hate your ass.
And we're going to have a very successful meeting, I have no doubt. But he's a very tough negotiator. That's not good. We know each other well.
President, do you plan to sign a trade deal today?
I think we'll have a great understanding. We have a great relationship. We've always had a great relationship.
Sure you do.
Which one? Thank you very much.
Wait, everybody else is going to
I don't know, Duck. I think you don't look too mighty right there, man. That's just my opinion. You don't look mighty in that one, man. Normally, you do the handshaking thing, and I don't think you look too tough right there, man. You look kind of weak. I think he could take you down. If y'all were to shoot the ones, I think Moab would get the upper hand. Let me start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushua, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone for teaching me this truth. I'm your brother, Rabbi Knapp, coming out with a lesson, Lord's will, edifying to the Lord's elect, of course. Let's go to Amos, chapter 2. In verse 1, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Moab, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he burned the bones of the king of Edom into lime. So that's what he's going to do with you, Esau. He's going to burn your bones, man. Just like he did in the past. That's why when you read the scriptures, you could kind of get an understanding that, that y'all are just like your forefathers. Okay, I want to get back into Isaiah 15:1. The burden of Moab, because in the night of of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence, because in the night of of Moab is laid waste and brought to silence. Let's see what I forgot what Isaiah 15 is talking about. Let me ask Chat GPT. Maybe they know something I don't know. Isaiah 15. Hello. Isaiah 15, verse 1, summary. Not 15, verse 1. Isaiah 15, summary. Isaiah 15 is a prophecy concerning the judgment and destruction of Moab. Moab's a so-called Chinese man, one of Israel's neighboring nations and frequent enemies. The chapter vividly describes the sorrow and devastation that will come upon Moab's cities and people. Verses 1 through 2, the prophecy begins with Moab's major cities, Ar and Ker, being destroyed in one night. The people mourn in high places, shaving their heads and beards as signs of deep sorrow and humiliation. Verse 3, the mourning spreads throughout the land. People wear sackcloth, cry on rooftops, and wail in the streets. The cities of Heshon and Eliah cry out, and their voices are heard even in Jahaz. The armed men of Moab lose courage and tremble with fear. When you read Amos verse 2, verse 1, it says, for 3 transgressions of Moab, and for 4, he will not turn away the punishment thereof. So what the Lord likes to do is use a nation for a specific purpose, then get rid of them. He'll dispose of you. He'll use you as like a tool. He uses these heathen like tools, but then he judges them right after. Verse 5, the prophet expresses compassion. His heart cries out for Moab. The people flee south towards Zoar in Eglath Shalishiah, weeping as they go up the ascent of Luhith and down the road of Horonaim, both places associated with lamentation. Verses 6 through 7, the waters of Nimrim dry up, symbolizing drought and desolation. The people gather their possessions and attempt to escape across the brook of the willows. Verse 8, crying and destruction spread throughout the entire land of Moab from one end to the other, indicating total ruin. The final verse declares that even Dimon, another city, will be filled with blood. The Lord will send further judgment, lions upon the fugitives, showing that none will escape his wrath. So the Lord's he's not messing with Moab either. Now, this Moab was a neighboring country in the ancient times, but the Lord clearly judged their ass for some things that they did. You know, they I know they were known to try to extend their border. I think it says that in Amos 2. They try to extend their border, try to come up on our border. So we had war with Moab in the past, even in ancient times. So we're familiar with you Moabites. What verse is that? Excuse me, I might be confusing him with Ammon. Ammon had the border. Ammon's border, I can't even think of what I'm trying to say. Ammon, A-M-N's border problem with Judah. In the King James Version of the Bible, the border dispute between Ammon and Judah is detailed in the book of Judges, chapters 10 and 11. The Ammonites oppressed Israel for 18 years, claiming that Israel took their land during the Exodus. The conflict intensifies when the Ammonites crossed the Jordan River to attack Judah and other Israelite tribes. According to Judges 11 and 13, the king of the Ammonites justified his invasion with the following claim: because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt, from Arnon even unto Jabbok and unto Jordan. Now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. The King James text summarizes the Ammonites' position that Israel must return land lost during the time of Moses. You wish, Ammon. So that wasn't even Moab. We had the border disputes with Ammon, who I believe was just south of Moab. Let me look at an ancient Israel map with Ammon and Moab. Oh, so Ammon was south of Moab. I mean north. Okay, Salah. So they shared a border with Edom and Judah. Moab did. We had a lot of wars in this area here, south of the Dead Sea. All right, good to know. Amos 2 verse 2, but I will send a fire upon Moab, and it shall devour the palaces of Kerioth, and Moab shall die with tumult, with shouting, and with the sound of the trumpet. So that's how the Lord is going to destroy you, with fire, after what you did to the king of Edom. So all these heathen nations are going to be used, and then the Lord's going to do them all dirty. Okay, because Moab think he's somebody, man, and he's not. Verse 9, Isaiah 15 and 9, the final verse declares that even Dimon, another city, will be filled with blood. The Lord will send further judgment loins upon fugitives, showing that none will escape his wrath. Main themes: judgment. The destruction of Moab comes as divine retribution for their pride and hostility towards Israel. Lamentation. Despite Moab's wickedness, Isaiah expresses sorrow and empathy for their suffering. Total devastation. The judgment affects the entire nation, its cities, peoples, waters, and land. I just read Amos 2 verse 1. Oh yeah, and what he did in Numbers the 24th chapter, sending Balaam against us, foretelling the destruction of Moab. Moab got a lot to pay for. A later, more detailed prophecy about Moab's downfall in Jeremiah 48. Deuteronomy 23 verse 23, 3 verse 4, the reason Moab was excluded from the congregation of Israel. Would you like me to continue with Isaiah 16 next, which continues this prophecy against Moab? That's what I'm reading here. But I wanted to get some, for the waters of Dimon shall be filled with blood, for I will bring more upon Dimon, lions upon him that escapeth of Moab, and upon the remnant of the land. The remnant meaning the small amount that actually escape of the Moabites. Isaiah 16 verse 1, send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land of Salah. Salah is down here in Edom. Okay. Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land, from Salah to the wilderness, unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. What is this talking about? Summary of Isaiah 16. Isaiah 16 continues the prophecy against Moab, describing both Moab's plea for refuge and the ultimate fulfillment of its destruction because of pride and rebellion. The chapter shows a mixture of compassion, warning, and divine judgment. The people of Moab are urged to send tribute, a lamb, to the ruler in Zion, symbolic of submitting to the authority of the Lord's people. Moab's daughters, its people, are compared to fleeing birds scattered and helpless at the fords of the Arnon River. Where's the Arnon River? Okay, of course you don't want to show me it. Can't get the picture. Arnon River, Mujib, North Arnon, just south of Moab. Okay, why would they have to pass that in order to get to us? Send ye the lamb to the ruler of the land, from Salah to the wilderness, unto the mount of the daughter of Zion. So they want to pay tribute to us. I think the precept for that is in 2 Kings. 2 Kings. Jehoram meets Moab rebellion. Yeah, this was, you read 2 Kings, the 3rd chapter. Moab was fighting with Edom. I think, hold on. 2 Kings 3 verse 9. So the king of Israel went, and the king of Judah, and the king of Edom, and they fetched a compass of 7 days' journey, and there was no water for the host and for the cattle that followed them. I forgot what happened here, but I don't know if Edom was working together. What the hell was going on here? 2 Kings 3:9 describes a pivotal moment in a war against Moab, where the kings of Israel, Judah, and Edom set out on a long, indirect journey that ultimately leaves their army and animals without water for 7 days. The dire situation leads them to seek out the prophet Elisha for help. Yeah, I gotta read 3 again. That's weird. But the points in 4 and 5, and Misha, king of Moab, was a sheep master, and rendered unto the king of Israel 100,000 lambs and 100,000 rams with the wool. But it came to pass, when Ahab was dead, that the king of Moab rebelled against the king of Israel. So he was used to giving us tribute. Okay, going back to Moab being the washpot, man, he used to be a servant to Israel. So don't think these heathen don't understand their history, man. They know who they are in the Bible. For it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be as at the fords of Arnon. A wandering bird cast out of its nest is like a helpless bird. Let's see if that's what this is talking about. Isaiah 16:2 describes the people of Moab, specifically its women, as being like fluttering birds or scattered nestlings, who are helpless and disoriented as they flee to the fords of the Arnon River. This imagery conveys their vulnerability and fear due to impending judgment and displacement from their homes. The verse is part of a larger prophecy warning Moab of its coming destruction due to its pride. while also hinting at a future restoration. Okay, in Isaiah the 16th chapter, who is attacking Moab? In Isaiah 16, Assyrian invaders are attacking Moab. This is shown through the prophecy of destruction and desolation coming upon the land, with refugees fleeing the violence and seeking help from other nations. Historically, context and biblical commentary point to the Assyrians as the likely aggressors in the 8th century BC. So Assyria was fucking people up to the point where Moab wanted to come into the land of Judah. For it shall be that as a wandering bird cast out of the nest, so the daughters of Moab shall be at the fords of Arnon. Take counsel, execute judgment, make thy shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcasts. Bewray not him that wandereth. What the hell is bewray? Hell does that mean? Bewray is an archaic verb meaning to betray, reveal, or expose. Bewray not him that wandereth. Don't expose them. Don't betray them. Don't reveal them. So they telling Judah, don't reveal them. Moab needed help, man. Let me look this up, man. You needed help from us, Moab? Isaiah 16:3 is a verse that appears to be a plea for protection, possibly from Moab to Jerusalem, or a command from God to a ruler. It urges, give us counsel, grant justice, make your shade like night at the height of noon, shelter the outcast, do not reveal the fugitive. Different translations phrase it as a request for help or a command to provide shelter and justice for refugees from oppressors. Did you do that for us, Moab? We need help right now. We still under our oppressors. We're outcast from our land. What are you doing with us? You ain't taking the counsel. You ain't executing judgment. You ain't making a shadow as the night in the midst of the noonday. Hide the outcast. Let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Be thou a covert to them from the face of the spoiler. Now when your ass is getting spoiled, who you want to run to Israel? For the extortioner is at hand. At an end, the spoiler seizeth. The oppressors are consumed out of the land. Let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Let me see what this means. Isaiah 16. Why is that saying Samuel? I didn't ask for that. Isaiah 16:4 is a call for Moab to offer refuge to the fugitives from Israel. An act of kindness from people who had been adversaries. It also includes a prophecy that the destroyer, extortioner, and oppressor will end and devastation will cease, which many see as referring to a future divine judgment, or the end of a specific invading power like the Assyrians. The verse foreshadows the end of oppression and the coming of a new era of peace. Verse directly asks the people of Moab to provide shelter for those fleeing from oppression in Israel. This is a reversal of historical animosity, as Moab and Israel were often in conflict. I'm confused now. So it sounds like, do they need help or do we need help here? Let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab. Let me ask chat. That don't make any sense. I don't understand it. In Isaiah 16:4, why is Isaiah asking Moab for help when Moab was sending a lamb to Jerusalem for help? Maybe they can help me out. Excellent question. That's a deep observation. Let's unpack Isaiah carefully because it's often misunderstood unless we look at the context, who's speaking in the prophetic tone. Send ye the lamb of the ruler of the land. I read all of that. In the section, Isaiah the prophet is relaying the words of the Lord and describing two voices in the prophecy. Judah's perspective, the people of Zion, Moab's response or condition. Isaiah is not literally asking Moab for help. He is prophesying what the Lord is instructing Moab to do during their coming destruction. What is happening historically at this time? Moab is facing invasion and destruction. See Isaiah 15. In desperation, they consider sending a tribute, a lamb, to Jerusalem, symbolizing submission and seeking refuge under the protection of the Davidic kingdom, Judah. This echoes the old practice. 2 Kings 3:4, verse 5. To Israel, sending of the lamb here represents Moab's recognizing Zion's authority, a political and spiritual appeal for mercy. Why is Isaiah saying, let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab? Here's where the shift happens. Verse 4 changes voice. It is Isaiah speaking for the Lord on behalf of Judah. Let my outcast dwell with thee, Moab. My outcast, the outcast of Israel, God's people who are scattered or fleeing during war. Isaiah is instructing Moab to show mercy to the Israelites who are displaced. Yeah, he's not doing that. In other words, Moab, while you are fleeing, remember to shelter my people when they are scattered. Con. And we in that position now. And what is this Moabite doing for us? He ain't doing shit for us. But that's why the Lord's going to destroy your ass too. And he think he got next. You fool. So the message runs both ways. Verses 1-2, Moab is told to send tribute and seek peace with Zion. 3 verse 4, Moab is advised to protect God's outcasts and to act with compassion because destruction and judgment are coming to both lands. Symbolic meaning spiritually, this passage paints a picture of refuge and humility. Moab, representing the proud nations, must humble itself before Zion. God's people, the outcasts, will one day find protection until the righteous king reigns. Verse 5, the messianic prophecy. Yeah, what's the messianic prophecy? 16:5, and in mercy shall the throne be established, and he shall sit upon it in truth in the tabernacle of David, judging and seeking judgment and hasting righteousness. Clearly sounds like it's talking about the Lord to me. Isaiah 16:5 describes a future throne established with steadfast love of mercy, on which a ruler from the house of David will sit in faithfulness. This ruler will be characterized by seeking justice, swiftness, and doing righteousness, and ruling with truth and mercy. This verse often interpreted as a prophecy of the Messiah and the establishment of God's righteous kingdom. That's right. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn. And you're going to be the same thing, man. You ain't going to have any peace ultimately till Yahweh Shah sitting on the throne. Isaiah 16:6, we have heard of the pride of Moab. He is very proud, even of his haughtiness and his pride and his wrath, but his lies shall not be so. So he's proud too. Okay? You a proud man, Moab. We already dealt with you in the past. Judges, the 3rd chapter. Judges 3. Ehud delivers from Moab, man. He probably knows about Ehud. Let's see what Ehud means. Judges 3, verse 15. Ehud, I will give thanks, I will be praised. Ehud, I will give thanks, or I will be praised, something like that. According to the blue letter. They could be wrong, though. Judges 3, verse 15, but when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord Yahweh raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera. Hold on, who's Gera? A Benjamite. Let me find out Ehud's related to Shammai. Let me find out. Ehud. Gera, a grain, a son of Benjamin, a son of Bela and grandson of Benjamin, and any member of Gera family of the Benjamite tribe. Was Ehud and Shammai related? I gotta write this. Was Ehud and Shammai related through Gera? Ehud the judge Shammai who cursed David. Ehud the judge and Shammai who cursed David were both descendants of a common ancestor named Gera, who was a member of the tribe of Benjamin. Hey, that's the spirit. The name Gera appears in several biblical passages, and most scholars agree that it refers to an ancestor or a founding clan within the tribe of Benjamin rather than the personal immediate father of both Ehud and Shammai, who lived generations apart. Also, they may have been descendants. You keep seeing that name Gera get popped up. It pops up a lot. Shammai, the son of Gera, and it says Ehud too. It's a son of Benjamin. Any member of the Gera family of the Benjamite tribe. I didn't know. So they both Benjamin. But when the children of Israel cried unto the Lord raised them up a deliverer, Ehud, the son of Gera, a Benjamite, a man left-handed, and by him the children of Israel sent a present unto Eglon, the king of Moab. This is the time in the book of Judges. All right, so, we went off multiple times, and the Lord raised us up a deliverer or a savior. Okay, let's see what deliverer goes into savior. Yep. To save, be saved, be delivered. To give victory to save from mortal troubles, to save, deliver, to be saved in battle, be victorious. And they got savior under this translation count. So Ehud was a savior. All right. Judges 3 verse 16, but Ehud made him a dagger which had 2 edges of a cubit length, and he did gird it under his raiment upon his right thigh. And he brought the present unto Eglon, king of Moab, and Eglon was a very fat man. And when he had made an end to offer the present, he sent away the people that bare the present. But he himself turned again from the quarries that were by Gilgal, and said, I have a secret errand unto thee, O king, who said, keep silence. And all that stood by him went out from him. And Ehud came unto him, and he was sitting in a summer parlor, which he had for himself alone. And Ehud said, I have a message from God unto thee. And he arose out of his seat. And Ehud put forth his left hand, and took the dagger from his right thigh, and thrust it into his belly. And the half also went in after the blade, and the fat closed upon the blade, so that he could not draw the dagger out of his belly, and the dirt came out. I don't know why it's worded like that, but he said the dirt came out. Oh, look at this word, dirt. The dirt. The feces. Excrement. And he was in his gut. He put the whole knife in him, man. Damn. The feces, man. The solid waste left over from the digestion of food consisted of undigested material, bacteria, dead cells, and bile. Man, he put it. Ooh. That's asserted. That was from Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. That's how he gets his victory, man. He delivered Israel like that. Then Ehud went forth through the porch and shut the doors on the parlor upon him and locked them. When he was gone out, his servants came, and when they saw that, behold, the doors of the parlor were locked, they said, surely he covereth his feet in his summer chamber. And they tarried till they were ashamed, and behold, he opened not the doors of the parlor. Therefore they took a key and opened them, and behold, their lord was fallen down dead on the earth. And Ehud escaped while they tarried and passed beyond the quarries and escaped unto Seirath. I gotta. Where is Seirath? Is that Seirath the Shaggy? A place probably in southeast Ephraim. And he got away, man. I wonder if Moab's still mad about this. He's probably like, damn, that was my favorite king. And it came to pass when he was come that he blew a trumpet in the mountain of Ephraim, and the children of Israel went down with him from the mount, and he before them. And he said unto them, follow after me, for the Lord had delivered your enemies, the Moabites, into your hand. And they went down after him, and took the fords of Jordan toward Moab, and suffered not a man to pass over. And they slew of Moab at that time about 10,000 men, all lusty and all men of valor. And there escaped not a man. So Moab was subdued that day under the hand of Israel, and the land had rest 80 years. Okay, let's see what 80 is. I think that means 80. Let me double check. 80. Yeah, scores 20. So 80 years stabbing a fat Moabite in his stomach. 80 years of peace, man. Where's our shelter at, Moab? Isaiah 16:7. Therefore shall Moab howl for Moab. Everyone shall howl for the foundation of Ker Harasheth. Shall ye mourn? Surely they are stricken. Where's Ker Harasheth? Probably a city in Moab. Wall of potsherds, one of the two chief strongholds of Moab. So your strongholds, you're going to be crying in them. For your pride. Therefore I will bewail with the weeping of Jazer, the vine of Sibmah. I will water thee with my tears, O Heshbon. I skipped some. Isaiah 16:8. For the fields of Heshbon languish, and the vine of Sibmah, the lords of the heathen have broken down the principal plants thereof. They are come even unto Jazer. They wandered through the wilderness. Her branches are stretched out. They are gone over the sea. Isaiah 16:8 describes the destruction of Moab, stating that the fields of Heshbon are withering, and the once flourishing vines of Sibmah have been trampled by foreign armies. The verse uses poetic imagery of the vine's branches spreading far and wide, even crossing the Dead Sea, to emphasize the devastating extent of the invasion and the loss of the nation's prosperity. Damn. Isaiah 16:9. Therefore I will bewail with the weeping of Jazer, the vine of Sibmah. I will water thee with my tears, O Heshbon and Elielah, for the shouting for thy summer fruits and for thy harvest is fallen. So who's bewailing in Isaiah 16:9? Therefore I will bewail with the weeping of Jazer. Why would Isaiah be crying about Moab? In Isaiah 16 verse 9, why is Isaiah crying for Moab? Because this verse shows the heart of the prophet and also the heart of God toward even those nations he judges. For I will bewail with the weeping of Jazer, the vine of Sibmah. I will water thee with my tears, O Heshbon, and Elilah, for the shouting for the summer fruits. Why is Isaiah crying for Moab? Isaiah is weeping not because he supports Moab's sins, but because he feels deep sorrow for their suffering and destruction. Even though Moab was Israel's enemy, Isaiah's heart reflects divine compassion, the grief of a prophet who sees judgment coming and mourns for the people caught in it. I don't know if So Isaiah's sorrow is both human and prophetic. He feels the pain of seeing a nation completely laid waste, their joy, livelihood, and pride all destroyed. Damn. If Isaiah's crying for you, man, that must have been... The Lord must have been doing some... He must have been messing y'all up, man. Isaiah's weeping mirrors God's own compassion. Even though God judges Moab for its sin, he takes no pleasure in their destruction, just as he said in Ezekiel 33:11, I have no pleasure in the death of the wicked, but that the wicked turn from his way and live. Isaiah's tears reflect the heart of God. Righteous judgment makes with sorrow. Well, that's what I just think of Proverbs 29:2, man. People mourn when Israel's not in power, and it's funny how they must have been attacking him from the west. He had no choice but to go to Judah to escape that judgment, but ultimately it's judgment from the Lord. You know, if the Lord want to judge you, man, nothing you could do about that. Isaiah 16:10, and gladness is taken away, and joy out of the plentiful field, and in the vineyards there shall be no singing, neither shall there be shouting. The treaders shall tread out no wine in their presses. I have made their vintage shouting to cease. Isaiah 16:10 states that joy and gladness have been taken from the land, and the joyous shouting of the harvest is gone. As the treader no longer makes wine in the presses because God has put an end to the celebration. Yeah, you gonna put an end to your celebration. All this celebrating, your pomp was brought down to the grave. See, pride ain't gonna get you anywhere. The Lord ain't dealing with pride. He don't care what nation it is, man. He gonna show you through this judgment that he don't like that. Isaiah 16:11. Wherefore my bowels shall sound like a harp for Moab, and my inward parts for Kaharesh. And it shall come to pass, when it is seen that Moab is weary on the high place, that he shall come to his sanctuary to pray, where he shall not prevail. So clearly your gods ain't gonna be able to help you. Isaiah 16:12 means that Moab's attempt to seek help from their gods during times of destruction will be futile, because there ain't no other God but Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua. In this verse, the prophet Isaiah portrays Moab as desperately trying to find refuge and answers by praying at their sanctuaries and high places, but their efforts will be useless because they are relying on false gods, not the one true God of Israel. But y'all don't even know the Lord, so same thing gonna happen to the majority of you heathen anyway. You can be praying to Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ is gonna send Esau to you. Isaiah 16:13. This is the word that the Lord have spoken concerning Moab since that time. But now the Lord have spoken, saying, within 3 years, as the years of an hireling, in the glory of Moab shall be contemned with all the great multitude, and the remnant shall be very small and feeble. So if you survive that, it's going to be a small remnant. Let me see what's going on in the news.
Tonight, powerful storms slam the Northeast. Heavy rain, flash flooding, and damaging winds from Philadelphia to New York City up through Boston tonight. Water rescues underway at this hour. A child carried from a flooded car. Cities just outside New York underwater. Rain pouring into New York City subways, trees and power lines crashing down. More than 1,000 flights canceled, thousands more delayed. Lee Goldberg with the forecast. That storm still churning right now, and he has the Halloween forecast as well. Also breaking tonight, Prince Andrew no longer a prince. The extraordinary announcement from Buckingham Palace late today. King Charles taking action against his younger brother, Prince Andrew, in the wake of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. What the palace is now saying tonight. This evening, the first grade teacher shot by her 6-year-old student and what she has now revealed about the moments after she was shot. What she said in court today. The government shutdown, day 30. More than 40 million Americans will lose their food assistance Saturday. Lines already at food banks. And millions of Americans are about to see their health insurance premiums skyrocket. Democrats demanding Republicans.
Your health insurance premium's gonna skyrocket. It's about to get tough out here, man. Damn.
Address the health care issue for millions. Republicans blaming Democrats for the shutdown. Tonight, President Trump says the U.S. will resume nuclear weapons testing. The U.S. hasn't done this in more than 30 years. The president is pressed, why now? And the U.S. and China end their new agreement for a year involving soybeans to those rare earth minerals used to build smartphones and TVs. The arrest tonight after the overdose death of Robert De Niro's grandson, federal authorities and what they revealed in this case. Alarming images appearing to show a police officer nearly running down a suspect with his cruiser and what they're now saying. A senior citizen.
Oh, shit. He almost got hit with the cruiser.
Cruise ship passenger left behind on an island. The boat left. She was later found dead, and now the investigation. The JetBlue flight making an emergency landing, suddenly losing altitude. We have learned multiple passengers have been injured tonight. And America Strong this evening, the father with a Halloween surprise for his 4-year-old daughter. You have to see this. Sesame Street was so impressed, Cookie Monster showed up.
Let me see if a Virginia teacher shot. I want to see this cop try to run over Jake with the no, Baltimore police officer suspect. I gotta see this, man.
There are alarming images appearing to show a Baltimore police officer nearly running down a suspect with his cruiser. The officer driving on the grass there than the sidewalk. Authorities now suspending that officer. The state attorney is now investigating. When we come back here tonight, the senior on that cruise ship left behind on an island and later found.
Damn. He must see Jake, man. Anyways, I wanna learn about Russia's Poseidon missile. Yeah, give me some videos on that. Putin confirms testing Poseidon. I heard this missile can blow up and cause a tsunami. Tsunami next. Russia's nuclear tsunami next. Putin tests underwater. What is this? Just a week after testing the nuclear-powered Burevestnik missile, Vladimir Putin has stunned the world again, this time with Poseidon. Let me see what this is talking about. I need somebody to speak about this Poseidon. Maybe somebody on X can explain this. Russia's Poseidon missile. I don't need that. Here it goes. New Putin says Russia successfully tests Poseidon nuclear-capable Doomsday torpedo capable of triggering radioactive tsunamis, rendering coastal cities uninhabitable. a radioactive tsunami, bro. That shit's crazy. Crazy. Radioactive water. Oh man. It went through. This is the end, man. Oh, radioactive water, man. I thought it was done with the nuclear missile, man. This dude's creating tsunamis. Poseidon underwater drone launch from world's largest sub. 65-foot Doomsday nuke torpedo remotely guided to coastal target at 150 miles per hour. 100 megaton warhead detonated, triggering 1,600-foot tsunami of radioactive seawater. Crazy. Crazy. That's it right there. Damn. Horrible images. I don't know if it's just probably their video. Wow. This video ain't got no sound. Oh, it just does it on its own. A crazy World War III, man. We gonna have crazy ass Category 5s. Esau got the air. And it looks like the water too, man. They're gonna be doing all type of. They're gonna call it natural. Oh, is this showing it?
Подводный робот-беспилотник «Посейдон».
Russian water robot drone
Он
Poseidon.
приближается к цели
It is approaching the target at a kilometer
на
depth
километровой глубине со скоростью
at 200 kilometers per hour.
200 км в час. Нет
There's no way to stop that underwater drone.
никакого способа остановить этот подводный дрон. Боеголовка
The warhead it carries has a capacity of up to 100
на
megatons.
нем мощностью до 100 мегатонн. Взрыв
An explosion of this thermonuclear torpedo off the coast of Britain
этой термоядерной торпеды у берегов Британии поднимет гигантскую волну.
will raise a giant tsunami wave up to 500 meters high.
Цунами высотой до 500 метров. Такой водяной шквал является еще и носителем экстремальных
Oh, shit. Damn. With radioactive seawater, man. You even survive that, you're through, man. Of extreme radiation.
радиации. Пройдя над
Passing over the British Isles, it will turn that what's left
Британскими островами, он превратит то, что от них, может быть, еще и останется, в
into a radioactive desert,
радиоактивную пустыню, надолго
permanently unsuitable for anything.
непригодную хоть для чего.
Y'all think Putin's fucking around. This is a better, more clearer version. More clearer video showing the Poseidon. I don't think that's it. I think the Lord got something else up his sleeve, man. Because he got something else up his sleeve. Because even, what's his name, Kim Jong-un, he coming out with shit too.
2016年、ロシアは新型魚雷ポセイドンを発表しました。全長20メートル、直径2メートルと通常の魚雷の3倍の大きさです。この魚雷は推進力として小型原子炉を搭載し、射程は無制限です。ポセイドンはおそらく2メガトンの核弾頭を搭載するでしょう。潜水艦または特殊艦艇から発射されたポセイドンはゆっくりと探知されずに航行し、水中で爆発します。核爆発は放射能汚染を引き起こし、長期的な影響を及ぼす可能性があります。 2010
Long-term effects, radioactive water.
Russia's newest intercontinental missile, Sarmat, will soon stand on combat alert. Billed as the world's most powerful ICBM, one Sarmat carries 7.5 megatons of nuclear firepower.
And now the duck wants to do nuclear testing. Are you like serious? Oh man, he must be laughing at the duck. He gotta be laughing at you.
Future weapons system. Just yesterday there was another test of a future weapons system, and that's an unmanned submarine, Poseidon unmanned submarine with a nuclear power plant. So for the first time we managed not only to launch it from a carrier submarine.
That's checkmate. Okay, he been had checkmate. This is like over the top, not even necessary shit he's building. He already got the Satan II missile, and now he got this too. Something completely like, which way you want to go? You want the radioactive seawater tsunami, or do you want overcooked with the Satan II missile? How do you want it? You want to be well done, or do you want me to drown you with radioactive seawater? Which one do you want, man? Like this, it's been checkmate for this place, man. And y'all ain't getting ready to meet your maker. I don't know what else will help y'all. If you don't know what's going on in the world, just play. Just be stupid. Just don't even go to church anymore, man. Just go be a demon and go have fun. And good luck with this tsunami of radioactive seawater, man. Hopefully the Lord get me up out of here, because I don't want any parts of none of this.
But to start its nuclear power plant, which powered this vessel, underwater vessel, for a certain period of time. This is a huge breakthrough as well, because with all the advantages I mentioned about Burevestnik, this one has a very small power plant, probably 100 times smaller than a nuclear submarine's nuclear reactor. But the power capacity of Poseidon greatly exceeds the power of our longest range intercontinental Sarmat missile, and soon it will be fielded. And Poseidon greatly exceeds Sarmat in capacity and power, and in depth and speeds of underwater propulsion. There are no rivals to it, and there are no ways of intercepting it. I think
nothing you can do, man. All right, so Russia's recent Burevestnik and Poseidon tests reintroduced vulnerability, a problem that the U.S. thought it had managed. On October 21st, 2025, Russia announced a flight test of the nuclear-powered cruise missile Burevestnik. On 29 October 2025, it announced a test of nuclear-powered underwater drone Poseidon. These are not small symbolic toys. Moscow says they ran on board nuclear propulsion, giving them extreme endurance and the potential to bypass or complicate current missile defense architectures. Golden Dome be damned. What does this mean? I think of a mini power plant squeezed inside a missile. The reactor makes heat, and the heat can be turned into super fast moving air or electricity to keep the missile flying for a very, very long time. Much longer than normal missiles. Yup, you read that right. Some are calling it the flying Chernobyl. Damn. By why this matters? But why this matters? Cause this revives mutual vulnerability. A nuclear-powered cruise missile can fly at low altitudes for days or weeks, looping around radar coverage and striking from unexpected directions. Similarly, a nuclear-powered torpedo/drone can travel intercontinental distances underwater, making coastal missile defense irrelevant. By unveiling and testing these, Russia is sending a clear message. No matter what missile defenses the U.S. builds, Russia can still hold America at risk. In other words, Moscow is restoring the condition of mutual vulnerability the U.S. thought it had solved with technology. But watch this space. Even if Russian claims are partly political theater, technical hurdles remain. The tests create real strategic risks. They increase ambiguity, raise crisis instability, and introduce acute environmental hazards should accidents occur. The historical record of U.S. Project Pluto and past Soviet test accidents shows nuclear propulsion weapons are uniquely dangerous. Interesting but dangerous times ahead. The United States, this is from Donald Duck, has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second and China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald Duck. And guess what? All you heathen are making this world unsafe, unfit. Y'all are unfit to rule, and that's why the Lord's gonna take your crown from off your head. All right? All of this bullshit. Okay, so we're gonna keep glorifying the Lord, and the Lord's gonna keep working, because this is all, if the Lord gave you all this technology, okay, and it's nothing for the Lord to get us up out of here. But this shows you the wrath of the Lord, man. Oh man. I think I done heard it all, man. This is like breaking news, man. This is probably the most significant thing right here. You know, and I wouldn't be surprised that this is going to be used. All this stuff that we see is going to be used. The Lord ain't have it created for no reason, man. The Lord ain't have this created for no reason. He gonna use this. Oh, he gonna use this. This is probably coming to Babylon, man. But I'm gonna end it right here. Lord's will, this was at a